The cold morning sunlight crept through the thin curtains of Talia's small guesthouse room. Her alarm had already rung twice, but she lay still, wrapped in the heavy blanket that barely held back the winter chill. For a moment, she wondered where she was. The ceiling was unfamiliar. The distant hum of traffic sounded nothing like home. And the air carried a quiet loneliness she couldn't name. Seoul. Right. She was still in Seoul. She sat up slowly, rubbing her eyes. Her phone lay beside her, only one bar of battery, again. She still hadn't figured out how to buy a proper SIM or charger. Her stomach rumbled. Back home, breakfast meant color, warm bread, spices, laughter in the kitchen. Here, it meant uncertainty. Instant noodles, or nothing. She sighed, whispered to the empty room. I guess noodles again. Outside, the morning was sharp and bright. Talia wrapped a thin scarf around her neck and stepped into the street. The sky was a pale winter blue, the kind that looks beautiful but offers no warmth. She walked slowly, her breath hanging in the cold air like smoke. Store signs glowed with Hangul she still couldn't read. People hurried past her, neat coats, bowed heads, earbuds in. Everyone seemed to know exactly where they were going. Everyone, except her. But today, she told herself, she would try. Try harder. Even just a little. She typed on her phone. Nearest convenience store. A map appeared, filled with Hangul, lines, arrows she didn't understand. She rotated the phone 3 times before giving up. Instead, she followed her feet. After a few turns, she found one, green and white lights, glass doors fogged from the heat inside. She stepped in. Warmth rushed to her face. A small bell chimed. The store clerk looked up briefly, then returned to stocking shelves. Talia wandered the aisles, studying labels she couldn't read. Egg sandwiches sat in tidy rows, unfamiliar drinks lined the fridge. She picked a triangle kimbap, remembering a YouTuber once said it was good. At the counter, she smiled, hoping it would make the moment easier. The clerk scanned, said something fast in Korean. She froze. Her mind blank. He repeated it. Still nothing. Talia fumbled, opening her phone translator, typing words that refused to load. A line formed behind her. Impatience settled in the air. Someone behind her sighed loudly. Another stepped aside. Her face burned. Finally, she held out her card. He took it, tapped, nodded. She bowed, too deeply, trying to apologize without words. Outside, embarrassment mixed with relief. She wanted to laugh and cry at the same time. She sat on a bench and finally tried the kimbap. The first bite surprised her. Light, savory, warm from her hands. She smiled, tiny, but real. For a moment, she felt brave. Later, she walked aimlessly, letting the city guide her. A small park opened ahead, bare trees, children playing in coats twice their size. A mother tied a scarf around her daughter, while a man tossed crumbs to birds that hopped eagerly in circles. Talia watched quietly. There was something soothing about seeing life unfold without needing to understand every word. Then she noticed an older woman sitting nearby, knitting in the cold. Her gray hair curled softly under a knitted hat. Her eyes lifted, gentle, curious, and she smiled at Talia. Talia hesitated, then smiled back. The woman spoke softly in Korean. Talia shook her head, apologetic. I'm sorry. I don't understand. The woman chuckled warmly. No judgment. Just kindness. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small hand warmer, one of those disposable packs. She placed it in Talia's hands, folding her fingers gently around it. The warmth spread instantly. Oh, thank you, Talia whispered, eyes stinging unexpectedly. The woman nodded, touching her heart, then Talia's. No translation was needed. They sat in silence a while. Not understanding each other's words, but understanding enough. Eventually, Talia stood to leave. She bowed slightly. The woman returned it, deeper, slower, as if wishing her well. As Talia walked away, her steps felt lighter. Maybe the city wasn't cold everywhere. By late afternoon, fatigue returned. She needed rest, and a place that felt like she belonged. Her feet led her back toward the subway. This time, she traced the colored lines more carefully. Blue meant north. Green meant west. Or maybe she was wrong, but she tried anyway. She boarded one. It wasn't crowded, but enough people sat together that she felt small. A group of students laughed quietly, sharing snacks. A businessman slept with his head tilted back, mouth slightly open. A young mother bounced her baby on her lap, whispering to keep him calm. Talia stared at the reflection in the window, her own face looking back. Eyes tired, but still hopeful. She didn't know if she was heading the right direction. But she was moving. That was something. Minutes later, she stepped off at a new station. Darkness had begun to settle. Street lights flickered on. The air somehow felt colder. She walked toward her guest house, at least she thought so. After 10 minutes, she realized she didn't recognize anything. No familiar buildings. No corner ramen shop. Nothing. Her heartbeat fluttered. The streets were quieter now. Shops were closing. Her map wouldn't load. She turned in place, trying to retrace her steps. Nothing made sense. Fear slipped into her chest, quiet at first, then louder. She whispered, "Please, not again." She stopped beneath a lamp, hugging her coat tight. Cars passed. Couples walked by. But no one looked her way. For the first time since arriving, she wanted to disappear. To go home. Anywhere but here. Just as her eyes began to blur with tears, a voice, soft, unsure, spoke behind her. "Gwanchanha. Are you okay?" Talia turned. Standing there was a young Korean man, messy hair, friendly eyes, a scarf wrapped loosely around his neck. He looked worried, but kind. Talia swallowed hard, trying to steady her voice. I'm lost." He smiled gently. "Okay. I help." And just like that, the night didn't feel so cold. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for episode 4 of Lost in Seoul.